Gamer Djinn Candor. We're welcome to the den of the Djinn, ladies and gents. We're here doing another walkabout. Welcome to the den. We're here doing some fun stuff. Anyway, today we're gonna be talking about something interesting that I kind of got into. Um, I got into a bit of a tiff, not really a tiff, but more of a idea, and it kind of got me thinking. Have you ever thought that our system has let me put this. Have you guys ever noticed that we're one of the few only countries that do a tipping system, guys? I mean, don't get me wrong. In a lot of countries, they do have tip systems, but apparently, here in the United States, we kind of made it into our culture. Whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing, I feel it's really depending on how it's, implemented. I work at a job where we do get tips. Problem is, guys, that those tips are not initial into our actual job. So basically, what I'm saying is there are companies that use tip culture to supplement income. And how does that work? Well, let me break it down to you guys. On a legal thing, right? As long as it's under it's like above a certain threshold, the government can't give you any crap because it's under above a certain threshold, or basically on that line, right? For instance, our technically legal limit would be about $10 more, if not more. 11, mind you, I'm saying this and depending on certain places in the United States. I'm not saying anything specific for where I live, because $10 an hour is garbage. Honestly, it really is. It is basically getting bottom tier things. And honestly, guys, who would want to work for $10 an hour? It is nothing. It's much less than I'm getting now. All I'm saying is the tips, a lot of times, because I used to work at a pizzeria, and yeah, it is tough, but the problem is companies try to use the tips, and this is what my last job had issues with. They basically said we were being given certain hours, certain days, right? Certain amount of money. But the problem was they told us to claim our tips. And in itself is a good system because they like to keep it according. But the problem is, because of how it's structured, the way they put in our claimed tips, to them, that is basically in their minds, they say, oh well, they got given this much money, they claimed it, and we could just add it to a check, and there you go, that is your money. So all in all, guys, claim tips is just basically a cheap way of cutting costs, saying, oh, we don't need to put this couple of bucks into, we don't have to put this kind of couple of bucks into a person's wage because they already claimed it. And that will be basically saying per week, that is $3 or $4 per week. Guys, all I'm saying is tip culture has gotten to the point where certain stores and certain places use it to basically supplement putting extra money into your pocket. But they can also claim that those tips are part of your compensation. In other words, part of your pay. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not part of our pay. That is just basically on top of what we're supposed to get as a legal requirement. But there are companies that try to use that to basically skirt around paying bottom dollar. They're basically paying peanuts and expecting everybody else to pay for paying peanuts. Hell, I even heard a really fucked up story where this lady is in the like, okay, so we're gonna. It was like the company apparently, and it's not the company. It was just this one manager that was just basically power tripping. She comes up and says, "Hey, the fact that you guys are getting this much tips, I want you to put it in. I want you to give me $20 from your tips. Everybody has to, and it will be shared to everybody else." So wait a minute. Are you telling me that I have to pay out $20 out of my tips? Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I work at a place where $20 tips is like looking at a unicorn. It's so rare. There are other places where those kind of tips become almost nightly. And I'm like, the fact that people do that in these places, kind of like in a place kind of like a Waffle House or an actual bar. There are bars that get $30 in tips every night, and there are people out there. No, I'm not asking for anything specifically, guys. I'm asking, what I'm trying to tell you guys is, as a worker, I feel like tip culture has gotten way out of control, because it's kind of the point where our managers, our companies are using tip culture to supplement our paycheck. Instead of them paying us correctly, they're using tips as a way to compensate us, even though they're not the ones giving us the tips. I'm saying it's unfair that they're practically telling us that we need to dance around for extra money because, well, I don't want to pay you more. But if you do something for me, scratch, I'll give you an extra couple of bucks. Ladies and gentlemen, and that's why I feel like a tip culture is kind of on the toxic side. At least right now it is. As far as on paper, good thing, extra compensation. It gives you more incentive. Now it's got to the point where it's not an incentive anymore. It's practically to the point where we live on that shit. No, seriously. And it sucks because, like I said, I work at a place where that kind of money benefits you later in the week. I mean, there are days where I use my tip money just to afford cab fare, or just to afford an extra soda that will get me through the day. Not many people understand that. Some people if they work at I'm pretty sure they work like 16 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours days, and they barely get by. I'm barely getting by at where I am. And the worst part is, everything is gone to pots. My rent is going up. Everything is going up, including our fucking gas bills. Like, it's ridiculous. And I work like I said, I work at a place where they're trying to use our tips to say they are giving us the money. Yes, they're not. They really are not. So it sucks that we have to live in a society where we are actively being screwed by the people that we work for, and the people that we work for are barely giving us what we need to eat. It's kind of like that scene in have you guys ever seen A Christmas Carol? I don't know if you've ever seen that movie or seen versions of it. I've seen like a whole bunch of them. I've seen one, I'm not going to name them all because I've seen so many of them. So Christmas Carol is basically a story about a man named Ebenezer Scrooge. And yes, folks, I'm talking about one of my favorite stories because it was created by Charles Dickens, one of the best playwrights ever. Good man that I've read about, and I loved his stories. This is one of my favorite stories. Charles Dickens created a very compelling story about a man of redemption, in the throes of redemption. So basically, the story goes: there's man Ebenezer Scrooge. He is a local business owner, and there's a reason why they call him Scrooge, because it becomes synonymous with basically a miser, he money hungry. Like the moment somebody asks him for a buck, he acts like everybody offended him. I was like, "Excuse me, sir, can I have?" "No, you cannot have it, you damn motherfucker. No, you cannot have anything from me. Go get a job, you peasant." That's basically Ebenezer Scrooge. Guys, the reason why I'm mentioning this Ebenezer Scrooge is because some companies are basically treating us workers as, basically the worker in that story. That we are just basically sitting there in the cold, having nothing but a candle for warmth. And the last thing we're going to do is going up to our boss going, "Excuse me, sir, I am so very cold. Can I grab a lump of coal just to warm me, please?" No. The fucker goes, "Coal? Coal? How dare you ask for coal? I gave you a raise last month. And what did you do it? That's the last time I'll ever give you a finick." Mind you, I'm over dramatizing it, but that's kind of the point where our society's gone to that point. Well, we are entitled for asking for more. I'm like, yeah, gee, I wonder why we're asking for more, because we're getting peanuts right now. You're just happy that you don't have to give out too much, and the moment we do, you get upset. Why am I angry with this? Because every time we ask for something decent, for a decent wage, for decent prices, for all that crap, we get shut down for being entitled, for being, lazy, for not working hard enough. Guys, how are we not working hard enough? Are you telling me that we gotta work like a fucking robot, 24 fucking hours a day, 9 days a week? Yes, folks, I'm making a joke here. And not make one lick of complaints, and you think that is allowed? That we can't have the ability to complain? That we have no power over our lives? That the moment we ask for something so small, something like, "Oh, can I have can I have a day off?" A day off? You're so selfish. You're so pathetic. It's like, think about the family. We are your family, and that's the first thing they put you with. "Oh, we are your family. You want to leave us, your family?" Ladies and gentlemen, my response to that would be, family, huh? Let me ask you this: Did you give part of your DNA to create me? Did you carry me for 9 months? Are you part of my DNA that I can say Uncle Sam or Auntie Viv? Are you part of any part of my family? If not, never use the word family in front of me again. Because unless I tell you that you are family, you have no right to tell me who my family is. We're your work family. I'm like, first of all, no. I might have friends at work, and I have friends at work, but I don't consider them family. And I've told them that. I was like, guy, I mean, you're great and all, you're a buddy of mine, but you're a buddy at work. We don't ever do anything other than work together. We never even go out, hang out after work. No, we don't do that because, yeah, we talk to each other about things that we do after work, but we don't hang out after work. Why? Because we have no obligation to do so. Absolutely none. By the way, folks, if you haven't already, do me a favor. Like, subscribe, comment down below. It definitely helps the channel. Anyway, so like I said, be very, very wary about the trigger words that always get me every time I hear them. We are family. What are you? You're being lazy. Oh, nobody wants to work anymore. Things like that. Like, those are the phrases that always trigger me. I'm like, no. No, people want to work. They just don't want to work for you. Because if you gotta have that attitude. Ron Jeremy, nice. Thank you, appreciate that. Thank you very much. Anyway, so no, seriously though, I hate it when my job, I got to the point where I had basically a line between me and my job. My job understands that if emergencies happen, that's a whole different shtick. But don't expect me to be there, because comes down to if the place burns down and I'm not there, not my fault. Not my pigs, not my farm. I'm telling you that right now. If it has nothing to do with me, I have nothing to do with it. This is your work. This is your second home. I'm like, sweetheart, no, I don't have a second home. And by the way, every time I go in there, I want to leave. So anytime anybody says, oh, you could leave early or whatever, which hardly ever happens, I'll take that opportunity. People say, well, what about the money? Money and everything. Plus, if it's only just one day, I don't give two shits about it. My family gives me the side eye every time that happens, but again, it happens so few times that I never have to worry about it too much. Anyway, thank you for checking out my videos. Like, subscribe, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. And please be constructive criticisms. There's a difference between constructive criticisms and just being a troll. I'm telling you that right now. And by the way, if you're a troll, go find an underpass to live under. Because what the fuck? I don't deal with your garbage shit. If you're gonna be on here just to be fucking hateful, guess what? I'm gonna return that damn energy like Kirby. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next. Be safe, take care, and all you trolls out there, beware. Beware. You'll get your second coming. Take care.